Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. There's a lot of things that aren't going well, to be honest with you, and you can't really sugarcoat it. I like to stay positive, but we have a very serious issue with drought all over the world. And I just did that video about the Rhine River in Germany and how those stones came up out of the ground and they are now above ground. And the last time they were above ground, so there was a brief time in 20, I don't know, remember 15 or 18. You have to watch the video. I'll link it down here below. But before that because we've been in a drought for years, right? A decade really. But it's getting really bad now because as all of these waterways drain, they're always in a V pattern. And so the most of the water is at the top level, right? Because that's the widest a lake is or a river. But then it starts to go down and then it drops exponentially. And that's what we're seeing right now. Well, these stones were called like the weeping stones, and it literally translated, carved into the stone. The last time this was carved was in 1616, right? It says, if you read this, weep, because of the sheer amount of people that perished from a famine and a drought. And so I'm going to share a story with you. It's very serious, but I want to get this point across, and I'll have a link below. If you can't find a place, I have a link to a place that has emergency food and water filtration supplies that I absolutely love. I've been using them for 10 years. I absolutely love this company. And everybody that I've turned them on to, this company loves this company for water filtration. But it is very serious to get a hold of this now because there are still, you all know, there are a lot of people with their head in the sand, all right? They're hiding. They don't want to hear it, blah, blah, blah. I mean, ignorance is bliss, right? And there's a lot of ignorant people. The scary thing is you are watching this for a purpose and a reason. And if you aren't prepared, you're going to get caught into that craziness, like when everybody rushed down to Costco to buy toilet paper and there's hundreds of yards of line of people that were panicking just to get like a package of toilet paper. Okay. You can't make this up. And we've seen that in the last couple of years, but I believe it's going to get very scary because it's going to be about food. Okay. And that is very, very serious. I want people to be ready for this because quite frankly, it's going to hit us. And I believe it's going to hit us in this next 3 months. We're going to start seeing massive food shortages. And yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. And you want to know how the food shortage is evident? Because the lower cost food is off the shelves. That's the evidence right there, because people start stocking up. So like with toilet paper, they buy like big things of toilet paper. Like, what are you going to do with that? But they did something. They feel good about themselves. So people will go and buy the cheapest things and you'll start to see that missing off the shelves. That's your first indication that we're there. Okay. And I'm sure, put it down in the comment section. People have been seeing this all over the nation. As a matter of fact, all over the world, in grocery stores already. All right. So, okay, here we go. Let's share this story. I'm going to link it below, but I'm going to briefly go over it. It says a horrifying drought is causing widespread crop failures throughout the US and Europe. It says we are really reaching a major crisis point thanks to soaring fertilizer prices, insane weather patterns, and the war in Ukraine. Global food supplies have been getting tighter and tighter. So we really needed a banner year for agriculture production in both the United States and Europe in 2022. And that is not going to happen. In fact, unprecedented drought is absolutely devastating crops all over the Northern Hemisphere. A lot of people are complaining about how high food prices are right now, but just wait. If some sort of miracle doesn't happen, agriculture production is going to be way below expectations in both the United States and Europe, and it is going to have very serious implications for 2023. And everyone, I could not agree more. According to CNN, it is now being projected that farmers in Italy have lost up to 80% of their harvest because the drought has become so severe. In Italy, farmers in some parts of the country have lost up to 80% of their harvest this year due to severe weather anomalies. The Coldiretti Family Association said Thursday. Now, let me stop right there. A lot of people, I notice when I speak to them or I read through comments, they go, "It's Italy. I don't live in Italy. I'm in America." Well, I'm gonna explain this again very clearly to you, to that one guy, American. If people in Italy don't have food, they're gonna go find it, which means they're going to print money and they're gonna go buy it wherever they can, at whatever price they can, right? It's the same thing in America. If you go, hey, there's a run on vegetarian meals down at Costco. So what? I'm a meat eater. Okay, meat eater, copy. I love meat too. But here's the problem. When those people that choose to eat a certain way don't have their food, they're coming for your food. That's it. People need calories. Okay. So if we have less food, we didn't all of a sudden have less people. All right. So they're going to go out and get that food. And that's why it's important to go get your food now, right? Because you're blessed, because you're watching videos like this, people warning you. And then you also, by going and stocking up now, you allow the supply chain to heal itself. See, the problem is everybody usually runs to the exit at the same time. And that's when everyone gets stuck, choked, at the choke point, it's called, and people die. And we don't want that. So the more people that are prepared now, the less we're going to have issues in the future. That makes sense. I hope it does. If it does, hit the thumbs up button for me, please, and hit a subscribe button, because it helps get the truth out. Why? Because the more of us that are prepared, it's one thing to say we want to go crush in real estate and go and, buy cars on the cheap and go, crush it. I want to be there too. It's another thing to know the truth that if more of us are prepared, we're all going to get through this better, and the more prosperous our world will be. All right. So this is not just about us. It's about everyone. We want everyone to be helpful, but at the end, you can only do so much. So that's what we're doing. That's why I'm hitting record right now, hanging out with all you guys, which I love. It says right here, how are those farmers going to survive? Many farmers in France are facing similar losses because they have only been receiving a fraction of the rainfall that they normally get. In France, where an intense drought has hammered farmers and prompted widespread limits of freshwater use, there were just 9.7 millimeters of rain last month. That was 84% down on the average level seen for July between 91 and 2022, making it the driest month since March of 1961, the agency said. So I don't want to go in and hammer all these points. What I want to do is have you guys look at them yourself, but start thinking now, what can I do to prepare? What food do I need? What kind of food can I store? I know my family members have got their head in the sand and it pisses me off, but quite frankly, why don't we store up a little bit for them? Don't tell them. Just don't tell them. Why? Because you're just enabling them and they're not going to do anything. But the facts of the matter are, nobody's going to want to see anybody go hungry during this. And quite frankly, the greatest time of your life will be to help someone. But like I said, don't tell anybody. Store up a little bit extra for them. And make sure you have your stuff, because I want your family to prosper. I want you to prosper. It should be the greatest, most exciting time of your life right now. I know it sounds crazy, because there's a lot of doom and gloomers out there, and that's how they get the views, quite frankly. Doom and gloom, doom and gloom. Trust me, I know. I've seen it. But you got to look at the blessing too. When you know the train's coming and now you're on the tracks, all you got to do is step right off the tracks. Now, if the person you're talking to, I don't believe that train's coming, I think that's a figment of my imagination. Fine, you want to be a stupid, crazy person? Fine, you get smacked by a train. But all you got to do is move. And then you're blessed. You go, thank heavens I knew the train was coming and I got off the tracks. All right, guys. Hope you guys got something out of this. I'm going to link it below. I'm going to put the links to the water filtration company that I work with and the food supply company. But again, if emergency food can be expensive, but it's a totally different way of storing food. I do like that. But what's one thing you do? Go out and get some canned food. Canned goods are cheap. And guess what? If I'm wrong and none of this happens and food doesn't inflate up in price and we don't have food shortages, you know what you do? You just go eat the food. So don't buy anything you normally don't eat because it's cheap. Just buy normal food. I know it sounds crazy, but just that's some economic ninja wisdom. All right, guys, that being said, I thank you so much for watching. The Economic Ninja is out.